Welcome everybody, welcome along to the second GRL Grand Effect podcast episode. Of course, we are today, as you can see on the screen, going to be talking about Season 3 and looking forward to what a great season we have in store. Of course, we did the draft on Monday, and everyone got their divs, everyone found out the calendar, and we are very much looking forward to the season ahead. Mine's Dara, as you very well know, and again, I'm joined this week, as I always will be, by Atom. So Atom, Season 3, I mean, we've got 7 divisions, F2's going, mixed divisions also going. I mean, what's there not to look forward to?
Well, it's just beautiful. The beauty of racing, I would say. 7 divisions is mega. That's for sure, and also 2 separated tiers as well for, as you said, F2 and mixed. So we'll be able to crown 9 champions this season, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, neither can I. So, in this episode, we'll go through the calendar again. We'll talk through where we think would be good places to gain, lose, and then we'll talk you through the lineups for the season, our F2 lineup, and the Division 1 lineups. Of course, they all got decided on Monday night in our Season 3 draft. At the time of recording, by the way, we've had some absolutely mega support on the draft stream, and I'd just like to thank everyone who watched that stream, because I'm just looking up the number now. Officially, at time of recording, we have got 955 views on that Season 3 draft stream, which is absolutely mental. Thank you to all of you for your great support on that, because, I mean, Atom, it was our biggest night by a distance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the second best one was drafted from Season 2, obviously, and I think our best spectator, viewer, whatever, ship view we had, I think, was around 45, 50, so we even doubled that, even more, with over 100 viewers at times. So that was a special night, and as said, without all our community members, this would have not been possible. So thanks to everyone.
Yes, and of course thanks to everyone who joined in the stream and contributed, and it was a great night. So but yeah, I mean, quickly, just in general terms, Season 3, I mean, we've just got 400 members of the server, which is absolutely amazing. It's a massive growth from last season, and there's every reason to look forward to the coming season. We've got a cracking season lined up in the F2 and the mixed tier. Of course, the mixed tier will be, for the first week of the week in Silverstone this Sunday, it'll be a full qualifying 50% race, and then from then on it'll be reverse championship. So it'll be a very exciting tier. Of course, the F2 on the Wednesdays, and all of them will follow the same calendar, so that we get that kind of same feel to the season. But I mean, Atom, is there any one particular part of the league that you're looking forward to? You're looking forward to everything as a whole?
Well, obviously, I think, as we said on stream on Monday, it's quite a balanced calendar. We've got a solid starter, let's say, with Silverstone on Monday, definitely. On Sunday, technically.
Well, yeah.
And then we go over to Singapore and Mexico, which is probably a bit of a tough doubleheader. And then it gets all a bit more wider track-wise with Spa, Portugal, and so on. Same with the end of the season, where we have, of course, great racing tracks with Bahrain, USA and Brazil, but also things like Zandvoort and Canada, which probably aren't the most liked tracks. So I think
they aren't drivers' favourites, are they?
Yeah, we found a great balance, I think, and it's just the little parts in between that will probably become very important at the end.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're looking forward to trying to defend your F2 title as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a stacked grid, so will be difficult, but I'll give it my all, and I'll hopefully defend at least this title for the upcoming season.
Well, exactly. Right then, let's get cracking then. We'll first turn our attention to the Formula 2 grid. So, of course, I think the first division we have to talk about is the F2 division, and of course, after a hotly contested first season, of which you won, Aston, didn't you? But I mean, it wasn't a close run thing. I mean, I did come second, and you did win it pretty much with a round to go, but it felt much closer than it was.
Yeah, was just unlucky that you didn't really have the time to practice for the title decider, let's say. But yeah, just got a bit lucky at the first part of the season, which in the end paid off. And most importantly, we could also wrap up the constructors with several rounds to go. So
oh yeah, exactly.
Was a good first season for sure. But I think our challengers will come back for season 2 and try it again.
Well, because we pre-decided the Formula 2 grids for season 2 in the Formula 2. Of course, we just have one last season of the Formula 2, but we revealed it on the screen, and we can put it up on screen now. There it is. So me and Atom have stayed together, but we've gone to Virtuosi, and I mean, I'm not too fussed about that, because that's technically my local racing team, so I think they're based only something like 20 minutes from me, so I'm not too fussed about that. I mean, are you much of a Virtuosi fan, Atom?
Well, I like the car. I like the blue was always very nice. It's not the Alpine blue. Well, it is. It should be the Alpine blue, but it's not really, is it? And yeah, I mean, it's all spec cars, so it's not a huge deal. I would have probably preferred the MP maybe, but I'm fine with the Virtuosi as well. So let's show Jack Doohan how you win a title. Then I'd suggest.
Yeah, well, we'll try our hardest. But I mean, looking at that grid though, there are some cracking names in there. I mean, AJ Nolan Radius will be, I think, a little bit of a dark horse in that Prema, because they can put some time together. But then, of course, you've got the you have to say established teams, Gibson, Distant Bard, and their FSM Nathan. They are, they could be up there come the end. But you also got some new names as well. Dr. Davula. Lewis M in there as well. I mean, it is quite a varied grid, I think.
Yeah, you probably have like the top 4 or 5 teams that will fight it out between themselves. But yeah, I mean, teams like Aston, J Street, or Ed and Nicky are probably not completely up there, but I'm sure they'll, let's say, fight for best of the rest, if that's even existing in Formula 2. And yeah, I mean, there can always happen anything at the top there. If there's a crash or just some wet weather conditions, which we had a lot in this season, they can potentially get a podium from somewhere, which I think would, for some people here, definitely be an achievement already. But yeah, I think the MP team, the Virtuosi team, I want to look out for, with Carlin Campos and Prema looking feisty as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I mean, are we going to back ourselves again? I think we've got to, don't we? I mean,
yeah, I feel like it's really between Virtuosi and MP if you look at the names. Because Gibson was really strong, and he's on the reserve in F1, as we'll talk about later. But he can focus on F2 pretty much now. And yeah, Distant Bard, also very good in F2, maybe better in F2 than in F1. So I think they'll definitely give us a challenge, but whatever happens, we'll definitely not give up easily.
Definitely. Well, I think it's time that we have a quick look at our Formula 1 divisions then for this coming season. So we are once again, for the second episode in a row, joined by Jim, of course, who is the season 1 commentator, to help us look forward to this coming season in Division 1. and what a season it's going to be, Jim. I'm very much looking forward to it. Aston has said he's very much looking forward to it. I'm guessing you are as well.
No, I'm really detesting Event Horizons. No, I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm not gonna lie, it looks great. The lineup for Tier 1 looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, let's
we got...
get the lineup up quickly actually while you're talking, because there it is, popped up on the screen now for everyone to see. So yeah, so talk us through your favourites.
Oh, I think I don't even have it up in front of me, but I know that SkySpider's in there.
Yeah.
I think is Radius a full-time seat now?
He is. Radius will be in the Mercedes alongside Kiwi.
Yeah. Is BRT Griffiths?
BRT Griffiths is not.
Okay. There was another one. I think it was Rage.
Oh yeah, it's Rage. Yes, Rage is in the McLaren.
Rage, yeah.
Yeah.
That's strong. That is really strong. There's a couple of other names that I haven't said, but
Dub Turner in the Ferrari. Yeah, that's a strong name. And then of course you've got your reigning champion Ninja in the Alfa Romeo. So it's always a sign that we've got a rapid league when you don't even mention the reigning champion. It's one of the first names that pops into your head.
No, I think this. I mean, last season was brilliant. This season's going to be even better. I just think that's a testament to the way that the league's growing. I think
100%.
It's just the top tier has really expanded compared to last year. There's some really, really quick first. I suppose you could say they're main team, aren't they? Because they're full time. They're full time, and the full time seats are filled with some really cracking drivers. And I cannot wait to watch the season opener.
Well, of course, yeah. Me and Jim will be on the comms for the season opener in only a couple of days' time in Silverstone. So make sure you tune in for that. I don't know why you wouldn't be tuning in for that. But yeah, Atom, your views on the lineup, because of course you're in it. You're in the Alpine. Firstly, are you pleased to be in the Alpine?
Well, yeah, the Alpine is with the only Renault car, pretty much Renault engine. Feels a bit weird to jump in an Alpine, but yeah, I don't like it too much. But at the end of the day, it's spec cars in the game, so if I complain, it's not getting better. So just try to cope with it. But yeah, I think we have to have a look at a few new guys. That's for sure. Not saying that the likes of Partik, Ninja, Gary, Blade, Lone Retreat are slow in any case, but I think there are a few great names in there. And you mentioned Spider and Turner are probably two of the biggest favorites, but I think that AlphaTauri duo of BRT Wolf and especially Pyro is very, very dangerous. And AlphaTauri won in season 1 the constructors title, and I think now also have a good chance on the drivers this time, because Pyro is ready for the challenge, I think.
So talking about drivers, have you got any favourites particularly? I know you named a couple there, but have you got a particular favourite for the title?
Yes, I think it's between those three, but if I had to call a name, I'd probably say Pyro, because I think the Fury Racing Association speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So I'd put my money on him.
And Jim, mentioning constructors with Atom, do you have any constructors favourites? I mean, you've got Spider and Partik in the Aston Martin, you've got Turner and Lone Retreat in the Ferrari, of course, as Atom said, Pyro and Wolf in the AlphaTauri, Rage and Horizon Wolf in the McLaren also could be a bit of a dark horse. So you got any favourites in there at all?
Isn't so Spider and Partik, correct?
Yes, in the Aston.
I have to back them. I've got to back Spider and Partik.
That is a strong pairing.
Was excellent last year, from what I remember. So I'm going to put my money on the line and say that they are going to win season 3, tier 1.
And then lastly, Jim, any tracks you're looking forward to? Of course, we're basically doing all of them except for Monaco, Baku, and Jeddah. Yes, of course. Any that you're looking forward to? And we've got sprints at China, Portugal, Miami as well, and Imola. But I mean, apart from that, all of them are normal weekends. Have you got any race you're looking forward to?
Britain. I'm sorry. I know it's quite a boring response, but after that race last season, I've got to go Britain again because if they can do it once, they can do it twice.
Well,
I mean, that
exactly.
was an exceptional race, and I do want to see that again. I hope they can provide that again. It will
Yeah,
be a
I'm sure
challenge,
they
but I
will.
think they can do it.
Well, we won't have to wait long to find out, will we? I mean, it'll only be Monday, 8:30 p.m. on the GRL channel. So yeah. Once again, Jim, thanks for joining us, and we'll probably speak to you throughout the course of the season as well. So thanks again.
Pleasure, mate.
So to continue our look through the divisions, I think we've got to move straight on to Division 2, and here is the lineup. And I mean, for a Division 2, this is an absolutely cracking lineup, I think. I mean, Aston, there are some really good drives now. I mean, you look at Clever, AMS Lloyd, Josh Gilly in here as well. I mean, it's a really stacked division.
Yeah, that's not a classic Division 2, that's for sure. I mean, we've got, as you said, the defending champion of Clever will definitely give it his all to once again take that driver's crown, and obviously also the constructors he won with Williams last season. Then we've got Josh Gilly, who I think is ready to prove that he's not a Division 2 driver. We've got duos like Slappers and Scary Spunk, Phoenix and Smoking Cheese that are absolutely mental. The Skies Blue also got demoted to Division 2. So I don't think you'll miss any action if you turn into the Division 2 stream accidentally and watch that race, because that will, I think, usually be very close to the action we have over for the Division 1 race. And it seems pretty tough to call anyone out there to take the title, I think, because it's all very close.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, some of the teams in there, Dr. Davula and Clever and the Haas. I mean, Josh Gilly, I think, will be near the top, so depending on what Panosh can do, they might be able to push for a Mercedes Constructors title. And I mean, there's lots of drivers that you look in here, like it looks of Slapbus, Nick, Distant Bard, TGC Delta, like all of these guys, like you can see them easily picking up podiums and race wins, and you just, I couldn't give you a name for this division, I don't think, who I think would be champion.
Yeah, I mean, I said there are a few names there you probably recognize more often, because you probably wouldn't call someone like Dr. The Bull or Distant Bard for a championship, but I'm sure they'll do well. But yeah, as said, I think the likes of Slap Bus, Smoking Cheese, Clever, I think they're good ones. But yeah, as said, for me, I think Josh Gilly is like the mark they have to beat, because he had a second place finish, I think, last season at the final race, which almost secured him his Division 1 spot after a great race by him, but he still dropped down. So as said, I think if you want that title, you need to get past him first.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that'll be a very interesting division to watch across the course of the season. I think there'll be a few eyes turned, if they could ever get turned off of Division 1, would be turned towards Division 2 as well. So that's definitely one to look out for. Right, well, we'll have a quick look at some of the other divs. We'll move on to Division 3, and in this division there's a real... It's an interesting field in Division 3, because I feel there's a lot of potential in here. If you see what I mean, you've got drivers like FSM in here, Michael Massey, XPG Ghost, AJ Nolan. There's a lot of quality drivers in here. We'll have to see where they kind of shake out. Again, if you had said that this kind of field would be a Division 3 to either one of us about 6 months ago, I don't think we would have believed you. Because the quality in this for a Division 3, I think, is very high.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Alfa Romeo duo, you'll probably see them in mostly Division 1 area of Coded Ghosts and XPG Ghosts, so the two ghosts, as I like to call them. Yeah, two great drivers also up there. ET8 Steve, FSM as you mentioned. I mean, Trappy and Wiggy, who were dominating Division 3 last season when they raced. Nalapu and Yolki came down from Division 2. Some Pikachu and the Williams even from Division 1 dropped 2 divisions, which is probably a bit tough for him, but hopefully he can have a better season because, as I said, he had a tough time up there. So once again, it's just, I think Division 3 this season is just a mix between either you get up there to Division 2 and 1, where you can literally fight for the big stuff, or you just drop a bit of pace and closer to Division 4. So I think that's just the middle between the divs there. So we have to see who comes out best here. I mean, I've heard several drivers saying that the reserve driver of XRP1ZTX is very pacey, so we'll have to look out for him. But yeah, it's really difficult to name anyone here, like in Div 2, to say he's gonna make it, because yeah, all amazingly close.
Yeah, and I mean, could you pick constructors out of this? I mean, that I
Well, I think it's between Alfa Romeo, sorry, or Haas. McLaren close behind, but I think yeah, probably put Williams in there. So those few teams, yeah, I mean, technically you probably would have to go with Williams, because some Pikachu's proven from last season, even though he didn't deliver enough in Division 1. So yeah, let's go with Williams, because Surf Tripod was Division 2 last season. Let's go with Williams. I think they can make it.
All right, well, that's yeah. Again, I mean, all of these divisions are they're just interesting divisions, because they're all the drivers are really quite close on pace. So yeah, again, it'll be really interesting to see over the course of the season what happens in Division 3. But we'll move on, of course, down to the next division, Division 4. Let's change it onto that now. There we go, and you can see the grid for Division 4. And again, it's a very good division. Andrew, FG Moon, DD Exotic, It's Skills. I mean, these are all drivers that, you know, you wouldn't automatically put in a Division 4, but here they are, and they're going to be fighting, I think, tooth and nail in this division, particularly because I think once you get into these Divisions 3, 4, 5, the drivers get so close together that it just, you can't really pick them apart, and I think qualifying in these divisions is going to be exceptionally close.
Yeah, and yeah, probably in these, it's not really low division if you have 7, is it? 4 is a bang in the middle, but mistakes happen here, so you're also a happy man probably if you're up there at the top and don't have to fight through the pack. And as said, same with Division 3 and 4. This is pretty much now time. If you perform here, you can maybe like save your future seasons in GRL, because if you've got a good path up into Division 3, if you win Division 4, you probably have a good chance on getting better and better per race and per season. But also here, it's really close. You've got the Division 4 champion, who is once again in Division 4, funnily enough, Andrew, in the Aston Martin. But he hasn't ever raced anyone else, I think, except Exotic in the Red Bull, because they know each other. So it's got pretty much 18 new drivers to cope with, and that's definitely a challenge, and we'll see how he copes, because only Erna, Waff, Maldonado, Andrew, and Exotic, I think, have raced in GRL in Season 2 or earlier. The other guys are all pretty new, Dobby as well. So that's definitely one division to watch out for as well, like the other 3 before. But once again, it's you could pick everyone here, I think.
Yeah, again, all of these divisions are so close, and I think people may feel aggrieved that they've been put in maybe a Division 4 here, but I mean, it's so close to the guys up front that it was so difficult to pick and choose, wasn't it?
Yeah. If you ask me now, I would have to pick someone. I'd probably say, maybe a bit native, but I'll probably say Andrew. I think his race pace is really, really good, and he could probably challenge for the top positions here. And we know he's consistent from last season, so I'd probably put my money on the Aston Martin driver, probably because I want to hear his team radio again.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we'll move on now to Division 5. We're cracking through these like there's no tomorrow. Division 5 again. Look at the guys in this division. I mean, Chappus finished second in Division 4 last season. He's down here. J Street finished third. He's also in here. There's really good quality even down here. And I think that, you know, again, I mean, you look at your Chapters, your J Streets for maybe pushing for a title, but I mean, you can't rule out someone else going on a bit of a charge, can you?
No, not really. I mean, you'd normally say, yeah, the Division 4 was the academy drivers from the esports teams. You still got in here XRL Ollie, for example. XRL established team and league from America, and still in Division 5, he's down here. As you said, Chappers and J Street, definitely solid drivers from last season. Haykay and House got and boosted, came down from Division 3 even, so they dropped by 2. So it's all very, very close and depends really on the form at the day. And that's probably just a bit of an underdog division, let's say. So probably will get streamed, sorry. Bray will stream that weekly, Division 5. So maybe one to watch out for as well. And these divisions usually get very important for the overall constructors, because if you got a few good races here, you can push your team up there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And again, I mean, when thinking about overall constructors, you can't. You struggle to pick a group of drivers out through the divisions that could necessarily push ahead, because it's all mixed up fantastically, I think. And I think Div 5 is just really just shows how exciting the season is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I went through the teams yesterday, I think, and the only team that really has a very solid lineup, not immediately title challenging, but really has a solid lineup per division, is Mercedes probably. But all the other teams really have like weaknesses in one of the 7 divisions, which isn't a shame, to be honest, because 7 divisions still a huge amount. But yeah, I think Mercedes are looking good for the overall constructors. But yeah, I mean, Williams led the overall constructors last season after 1 round, and then they finished, I think, P5. So
yeah,
it all can change very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, we'll move on to Div 6, the penultimate division, of course, of the 7. And looking at this, we've got some interesting mixes here. We've got a few drivers in here that you may recognise from seasons past. And you've got IFR Ed in that Williams car, but he's joined by Damz, who of course is new. I mean, you've also got drivers in here, you know, like a 10th Cannon in the Alpine, an interesting one down there as well. I mean, is there anyone here particularly who you could see challenging at all, Atom?
Yeah, if I have to say, I said it too often, probably now. Echo in the Haas. He was Division 3 last season, and I have to say I'm not quite sure how he came down here, how this has happened, but I think he has a really, really good chance this season to take a title. He said, every time I say this, that's the amount he'll spin this season. Yeah. But I'm really confident that he can make it, because even Plattis Live said Echo was on his pace at times, and considering some other time trial tracks, this is the case. So I really think that Echo can make it, but also think that the McLaren team is solid. As it said, 10th Cannon who also raced in our All-Star race from last season. Ed, obviously, Ed has a really good quali pace, just struggling a bit with the consistency.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Very close. Yeah, but yeah, Echo I think is the one that stands out here, and will probably be the biggest threat for the other 19.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I am genuinely looking forward to every single one of these divisions. I mean, no matter what kind of pace they are, what kind of racing is, I am just genuinely excited for all of them. And
in these divisions, you also have to think about the risk of safety cars.
Yeah.
There'll probably be more safety cars than in a Division 1 or 2. So drivers need to be wise when they pick the strategy, because if you start on the hards, you have maybe a problem later on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll move on to the 7th and final division we have this season, and again, you know, you've got some family, you got some household names down here. You got your Sparky, you got your Clips Cam, you got your MCRL Marley. I mean, you've got some people people who have been in the league for a little while will know these people. And again, it'll keep this, even though it's the lowest division, it'll keep this division interesting, I think, because you have got those drivers in there who people will know, and there are also those new drivers in here that could also, you know, try and battle near the front. And of course, like you said, with Division 6, safety cars are more likely to be an issue here, so it's that being plucky on the strategy, and trying to make moves where you can that will be important, I think, down here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you are a consistent driver, not the fastest probably in Division 7, but if you are consistent, you're probably in a top 3 at the end of the season. So that will be key, because it's easy to make mistakes, especially with the new cars. We almost finished the whole real F1 season, but with that ground effect cars, and some drivers will struggle. So it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. We, as said, have some familiar names of Sparky, Clipscam and Marley, but also some new guys who seem to show some pace, like Browns the Bunts, who was solid in the social races. Drizzy Rascal, he loves a bit of a spin, but I'm sure he can do well this season in his Alfa Romeo team with Lally. So I think they are already quite good mates with each other.
Yeah.
Also the McLaren team with Kieran and Chicken Rosary seemed solid. So will be interesting to have a look at this division, because as said, Division 7 also could play a huge role in the overall constructors, because even though it's lower quality, it also means there could be a bit of bigger gaps in the championship at the end, which could play a huge role in the fight for the biggest championship technically, which is the overall constructors.
Definitely. And what I think that very well sums up all of the divisions we have in store for you in this upcoming GRL season. I'm very excited to be able to be reviewing all of these divisions every week on this podcast, and of course this coming week will be Silverstone. Only a few days time until those races are done, and we've got the mixed div on Sunday, of course, F1 on Monday, F2 on Wednesday, all at Silverstone, and I can't wait to try and review and digest all that we've seen so far and see who's come out as an early victor. And I mean, Aston, have you got anything in particular looking forward to at Silverstone, or are you just, as well as me, just looking forward to it all?
Of course, I mean, I'm looking forward to all of the divisions. Sadly, we, I think, don't have quite enough of stuff to broadcast all of the divisions just yet. We'll try our best, but I think even though the mixed here will be a bit of a intro to the big showdown on Monday, I think Monday is the day that all really starts off. Especially Division 2 is solid, but I think Division 1 is an absolute blockbuster.
Yeah.
21 parts. Please, people, just have a look at these streams. You'll not be disappointed. This will be unbelievably close racing, clean racing. It'll just be beautiful. So I can't wait for it to get lapped, probably around lap 5, hopefully not. But it'll definitely be something to watch, so definitely tune in for that.
Yeah, definitely. And that about wraps it all up from us here at the Ground Effect podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will be back next week with a review of all of the action at Silverstone. But from us, this week is goodbye.